водителя. It's recording.
Okay, so this one just stays.
Yeah.
So it's only in the
Have you tested the microphone?
So it's just this one. After you.
Yeah, very good. We were here last year, right? Yeah. We did. With Dr. John. Yeah. From where were you living? What do you do? Job in Birmingham. The pastor, are you? All right, okay. Always work for pastors. All your flock are Nigerians, I guess. More European, I think.
Sorry. No, we did. We haven't. Water. No. I was asked to be here at 9:45. It's now 11 o'clock. African time. So I must tell him I need to go. All right.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, first on the programme, we're going to have welcome remarks from Amaka Abingi. So if they can come and get ready so that they can bring the welcome remarks to open this conference.
You look wonderful, all of you. I'm so delighted. This suit you see, I've had it for 12 years. It used to be a complete white there, and the white, what do you call them, David? Bow tie, yes. And also white shoes. Now, shoes couldn't stay for 12 years, so I gave them away. So I'm on the 13th year, I'm hoping to auction it. And once I auction it, I want to give this money into the scholarship scheme on which many of you are. And as you're gonna see today, it's marvelous. You look wonderful, all of you. You look perfect. You look winners, you know. You can't lose, it's impossible. Oh, fantastic. Let me first say, guests of honor, ladies and gentlemen, entrepreneurs, young people, our children, and your parents, you are very welcome. This is your home, and I want you to feel at home. In the midst of this assembly, you find that you're sitting next to a multi-millionaire, and you're also a millionaire in the making. You are a wealthy person. Wealth is not in the counting of £1, £2, £3, £4, 6 shillings. It's not in there. Money is always waiting for somebody who has a right mindset. That's my first preamble. May I thank God for this opportunity once again to host this conference. Partners of Amaka Abingi, members, the chief executives, and our guest of honor, Reverend Mumbi, and Mr. David Dixon. David Dixon, this is his home. 2012, when he discovered this group, he said, "John, I've packed my bag. Where you go, I go." And you would notice that if you look at celebrating the faces of Amaka Abingi, you see his face so many times because he's been in every meeting in Zambia, Africa, where we go together, which is very good. And you understand why in a short while. Let me first of all explain to you what Amaka Abingi stands for. Amaka Abingi stands for power of many people coming together. I think the central heating is on. You need to switch it off. It's too hot. What did I say? Power of many people doing what? Coming together. Now, we have put a twist to our name. It is the power of joint effort of businesses. In other words, you have a business in X services, this one as in Y services. Altogether, we solve the problems of a community. Business is about providing a solution for the community. If you've got a business and nobody's coming to buy from you, it means it's not solving any purpose. So therefore, try to revise your products and services. Do a bit of research. What do people want? Amaka Abingi stands on the 4 pillars. The first pillar is called education. The second pillar, promotion. The third pillar, linking. The fourth one is innovation. What does it mean? Education is what opens you in terms of knowledge to the next level of understanding. Once you are educated, somebody must promote you. Because promoting self is very difficult, you know. What you see about me, I can't see it. He says I'm the best dressed man in Europe, but I can't see that. All I'm seeing is a brown shoe. You understand that? So the perspective of other people can take you higher. As you see later, many people here are flying. Every year, we are moving up. And our theme today, best suit the occasion, the year of achievement, because people are promoted. Once you are promoted, you must be linked. Linked to who? We have local councils, We'll have governments. Many people dread governments, but the governments actually are custodians of policy. Some businesses can't take off because the policy doesn't allow. But if you are linked and you understand policy, you'll be able to launch according to the law. The most important link is another business that has been in the same field like yourself. They give you what we call free consultation, like you had downstairs when you were networking. Somebody gave you a tip, that is free consultation. Which if you wanted to go work in their offices, you have to pay so much. But because you met them in a soft environment called a business network meeting, you can lovely speak to each other and say, oh yes, I can help you on that. Just go and do that. That is now linking. You are also now linked to what we call the market. The market, these are the people that buy your products or services. This is why they say you got to have some good customer care. Always smile widely, even if you don't mean it. Say, I love you, this is good. Once they pay your money, say, oh, thank you God for that customer. Because the word goes round. Many of you for 12 years have been coming here, maybe because you love what we do, maybe because you love my smile and the smile of other people who are in the organization. And you feel so nice in your spirit. Touch your belly, say, my spirit. Yeah, you don't want to go somewhere where people are just putting you down, get it in. You try to do something, say, hey, what's that? You want to come to a place where you say, this is beautiful. I like this. You feel elevated inside and you can perform better. So you must be linked to the right people at the right time and for the right price. That's very important, very critical. In terms of linking, that is the market. But you must also realize now as a continent, I can see many of you are from Africa, as a continent, as a people, don't always want to be the market. You say there are new markets in Africa, you are very happy, we are new markets. No. You must have what we call creative ideas. Creative ideas, these are ideas which are inspired to bring a solution for the community to buy services of you. And now this leads us to our fourth pillar called innovation. In innovation, you are always creating new ideas of delivering things. You are always perceiving new things you can do in the community so people can be helped. Therefore, you open a product, a service, launched in a legal vehicle called a business. Then you come to our college, we coach you through entrepreneurship. This is what Amakabing is all about. So coming here today for you, open your eyes, open your ears. And I pray that as you see other people who have achieved over the years, you can be inspired. You see that today we have very good showcases. People from the national background, they're going into construction. They're now creating employment. Not from this country, the United Kingdom. How many of you have been to London? Be honest. London, yes? Okay, you've lived in this country for more than 5 years, even 1 year, you haven't been to London? The first assignment I give you, tomorrow, I want you to go and book a coach and go to the financial capital of the world, London. The coach, by coach, it costs £10.50 one way. I always buy one way to go, then return I buy on the, just by the bus. I ask the bus driver, is there space there? Say, yes, there is. What should I do? Say, have you got an app? Yes, okay. I just click it up. I put money in the phone there. You say, here's my code number. It puts me on the bus. This is how easy traveling is. Why do I say so? Financial analysis and the logistics happen in London worldwide. And you can't be in England and not having gone to London. How can you innovate? How many of you have been to Buckingham Palace? 3 people. If you haven't been to Buckingham Palace, how can you live in England more than 1 year and you have not seen Buckingham Palace? This is where the Queen lives. She directs things that are supposed to be happening in this country. Don't just watch on television. The whole world is making application for financial logistics to London businesses. And you live in London? You don't even know where the headquarters is? I want you to be provoked so that your mind thinks differently. There's a group I began mentoring recently. I asked them to go to London. And they sent me pictures. They said, sir, our thinking is different. What did they see? They saw the kind of arrangement simple, but things are happening. Then they say, if these people can do this, how can I fail? Because they are ordinary people like you and me. So your thinking must not always be like you are the market. You've got to have creative ideas. In closing, I'd like to welcome the children. Why we've opened up this event to young people is for them to catch up very early. Young people, raise your hands if you are below the age of 5 and above. 5 and 19. 5 to 19. Okay? 2 to 19. Baby, very good. Do you know, research says that baby, how old is the baby?
7 months.
7 months. They capture information at a rate of 4 years PhD study. If you hold that baby, they detect your smell, they detect your humor, they can pick up your heartbeat. Once you come again, they smell at you. A stranger, they say, 5 years of PhD, they absorb. Why you have to bring into meetings like this? They begin to absorb the atmosphere. As they grow up, they grow with a good sense of thinking. They think development. You and I from Africa, on innovation, you were taught, work, study and work. We must be taught, study, work and innovate. You can launch your business as well. You can become an employer. You see me here, I'm not a businessman in terms of my qualification. My father taught me business when I was little. In Kitwe, Parkland, Chalapa Supermarket, he was running that. He runs so many different things. I didn't know what was going on. He just sat me by the counter. Customers are coming and say, hello sir, how are you? What do you want? My dad is over there. Hello, what do you want? My dad is over there. That built me something here. And I believe children can capture that. And young people, I'm so delighted that now you love studies much more than your computer games. Many of the kids here, we tutor them in our college. When we go there, they cry for tuition. Mommy, Daddy, when's my tutor coming? If the tutor doesn't go, they cry so badly. And that's very good. That's my daughter standing up. We are promoting young people. They're taking over the mantle so that they can move our organization forward, our businesses forward. So this is what Amakabing is all about. And I would like to welcome you to this platform. Let's put our hands together. Thank you very much, Ms. Master of Ceremony. A big hand to the Master of Ceremony.
Okay, so next we're going to welcome Reverend Florence to the stage, if you would like to come up and say a few words. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Florence, not Francis. Florence, good Francis. Okay.
Thank you so much. Amen. Greetings in Jesus' name, amen. Amen. First and foremost, I want to acknowledge the presence of all the dignitaries at this conference. You haven't made a mistake. This is the right place to be. And I want to acknowledge all the different sectors of business that are represented here and all the civic leaders. And lastly, our host and his dear wife, Denise. Mine is simple. Mine is to remind each one of us that there is a God who created everything. Whatever we're going to do here, God already knew it even before we were born. So I want to pour out certain scriptures to relate us to business, to entrepreneurship, and certain points that will be able to help you a lot. I'm a pastor. I'm a marriage counselor. That's what I do back home. And like a doctor mentioned, our goal is to touch somebody's life. If you are alive and whatever you do does not bless anyone, then there should be something wrong, seriously wrong. So our common goal, be it those that are in business, those that are entrepreneur, in wanting to start something, be it in the civic organization, you know, our common goal is to improve the quality of life, whether as an individual, whether as a group, whether as civic leaders, whether as representatives of different countries. Ours is to improve the lives of the people. I want to take you to those that are Christians, with due respect to those that are coming from different religions. It is the same God that we all worship. So I want to take you, I'm not going to read the scriptures or ask you to, because this is not a church meeting. Amen. But we want to steal some concepts from the Bible, from the Word of God. Genesis chapter 1, verse 28. Very powerful scripture. And these were words that God spoke to mankind immediately after he created us. And they still run even to us, even today. He said God blessed them. And he said to them, be fruitful. We are created to be fruitful. We are created to increase. We are created to subdue. In whatever fora, in whatever area, God has already put that ability in each one of us. So let us open our ears, our eyes, even as we are in this conference. Because somehow, somewhere, when you get connected, you'll be able to increase. You'll be able to subdue. You'll be able to rule. Because there's something that is in your life. We are here just to awaken something that God has already put in you. And the other scriptures in Psalm 24, the Bible says, the earth is the Lord's and everything in the world, and all who live in it. Everything that we see, everything that we're going to dream of, whatever vision we have, you know, was created by God. And we're the children of the Most High God. There's no way that He can deny us certain things that we want to see happen in our lives. So our theme says the year of achievements. Our lives should be seen to be moving from one degree of glory to another. Talking about the country where I've come from, Zambia. Zambia, if you went there 3 years ago, to tell you the truth, you're going to get lost. Because Zambia is moving at a great speed. So I want you to believe even in the countries where you are coming from, there is a speed that is taking place. May you be part of that speed by acquiring the right knowledge. Quickly, let me just bring out certain points that may apply to those that are already in business, those that are entrepreneurs. I want you to know that these things are in the Word of God. These things are in the Word of God. Number one, do not despise the day of small beginnings. I interacted with 2 or 3 people that were saying, our coming here is we want to learn because I have a dream. So do not despise small beginnings. It takes time to build a business. Those that are business people, they'll tell you that they started from scratch. And the Bible, those that are believers, you can go and read in Zechariah chapter 4 verse 10. It takes time. Do not despise small beginnings. It takes patience and time to build a viable business. Leviticus chapter 19 verse 23 to 25. Here I wanted to emphasize that we are living in a world that wants everything to be microwave. Meaning, you start a business today, tomorrow you should be, eating the fruit of that business. That is a wrong mindset. And that's what our chief executive officer was telling us here, to say we need to deal with our mindset. You start small and it will grow. If we were to hear testimonies of those that have gone ahead of us, I'm sure we are going to hear how they struggled and how they have made it in life. In this scripture that I've quoted, Leviticus 19, it talks about one who has invested in farming for 3 years. You continue investing in it. You get the profit you put it back. You get the profit, you put it back again for 3 years before you start chewing it. The mindset that we are seeing today, you make a profit today, tomorrow you want a a big Mercedes, I mean the latest Mercedes Benz, you are going to lose it. You will think, Dr. John, you know, the dream that he has is a lie. So you need to be patient, and it requires time to build a viable business. The other thing that I need to mention here, do not despise the day of small beginnings, is build and train human resource. Have people that can hear your heartbeat concerning what you want to do. Because if you just pick anybody, anyhow, you are going to fail, and don't blame anybody. It takes time, it takes money to train a person who will understand your dream. Number 2, entrepreneurship is hard work. It is hard work. This I'm getting it from Proverbs 10 verse 4. Lazy hands make a man poor. You know, again, sorry, speaking to you, my fellow Africans, we have the tendency that immediately you start making it, you stop even going to your place of work. Even the person who does the cashing, the books, you wanted to employ everybody to be doing it. That, and you are just chewing the profit. That is not right. Let us learn from the Indians. Let us learn from the Jews. Continue working. Continue working. I remember one time in Zambia, I went into this salon, and I met this young lady. And the way she was working, I thought she was one of the workers. It was later that I learned that it was the owner of the company. And I went and shook the hand of this girl. I said, please do not stop doing what you are doing, because I see progress in your life. Amen. So number 3, document your plan for your vision. Luke chapter 14 verse 28 verse 31, 28 to 31. Here the Bible talks about you cannot start a project without counting the costs. So, you know, Amaka Yabwing is to help us know how to even manage a project when it comes your way. Yes, you may have a brilliant idea. If you do not have the knowledge, you can't make it. Number 4, I see my daughter standing up. We need to be diligent, confident, accountable, and committed to the vision. Yes, you have great dreams for those that are starting. But you know what? There's a need for discipline. There's need for accountability. There's need for integrity. Don't lose it, because you are not far from being called a millionaire with all these things. Lastly, in order to achieve anything, we need wisdom, which is knowledge applied. Acquire as much knowledge, I think I mentioned this, acquire as much knowledge of the product you are involved in. We have a number of people here who have made it in life. Please utilize them. Utilize this meeting that we have. Find out the challenges they had. Find out how they have made it in life. Every knowledge acquired has the ability to take you to the place of your dream. When you have good knowledge of your project, if you want to go into care, if you want to go into selling timber, have the knowledge. If you want to go into building, like my brother there, you know, have the knowledge. Have the knowledge. In conclusion, I just want to, each one of you, to take this. For those that are Christians, please at your own time, go and read Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 8, 9, 11, 12, 13. This is my prayer to you. May the Lord command his blessings on you as you receive these different ideas today. It is my prayer that none of us is going to go empty-handed. Number 2, may God establish you. This has been my prayer ever since I was invited by Doctor and his wife. May God establish somebody in this place, so that even as we come back next year, we want to hear testimonies of somebody who is in this meeting, testifying of what God has done in their life. It takes God to get you established. May God make you abound in prosperity. Hallelujah. Let prosperity, because you have done all that is necessary, let prosperity come your way. May the Lord open the treasures of heaven concerning your life, concerning your family, concerning your business. Let God be involved. If it is Allah, let Allah be involved. Let God, let He who is mighty be involved in whatever you do. And may God just bless each one of us in this place. May it not be in vain, our being in this place. Amen.
Okay, well, thank you for that. That was wonderful. Can we please welcome next to the stage Mr. David Dixon? Round of applause for him, please.
I think you want to come closer. Come closer. Everybody who's sitting far away, come closer. You don't want to miss this. Okay. Yeah, you look very good. Come closer, yes. So you can see. Because there's a trick I do. Only if you hold your eyelids like that, you will see it. Otherwise, it goes very quick. Okay. Very good. Excellent, yes. Okay. Are your eyelids open wide? Good. Excellent. Very good. Very good. Yeah, listen good. This session, I've invited David Dixon, a dear friend of mine. We've traveled together so many times, so many years. He's been on this platform for a long time, and it's awesome to see. We planned this for a long time, David, haven't we?
We have.
That's going to be happening. So I want to talk to David so you can get to know him a little bit about him. Can we have that microphone on as well? That one. So we can have the microphone each. You on? Yes. Say testing on too.
Yep, testing.
Yeah. David has got a very refined voice. He used to do radio. Did you do radio? Yes. Okay. Yeah. David, first introduce yourself. Who are you?
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I'm David Dixon. I'm an engineer, civil engineer, and I spent many years in Saudi Arabia, which is where I started really being an entrepreneur. I made money then in Saudi Arabia, came back to England, and I was invited by the government to open a company in Telford, which is just up the road from where we're sitting.
Now, David, you have gone 2 miles in front. I asked, who are you?
Who am I?
Now you're telling me what to do.
Okay.
So, you married?
I'm married. I've been married 52 years.
A big hand. A very big hand. Those are the things I'd like people to hear. 5'2". And you're 4 years, you're saying, my wife, I'm enough. You're not enough yet. Congratulations, sir, for that.
Thank you.
And how many kids do you have?
2 children.
2 children.
And they're in their 40s now.
Your 40s. A big hand for that again. Are they very successful by you as your dad?
Yeah.
Do you think they're successful?
They are. My daughter is a school teacher, and she currently is teaching, working in Sierra Leone in West Africa.
Oh, Sierra Leone. She's an African man.
She's married to a United Nations engineer. He's a civil engineer like me, and his project in Sierra Leone is to build clinics in the event of another Ebola outbreak. Okay, you remember the Ebola disease took hold in West Africa a couple of years ago, and it was very serious. 11,000 people were killed in that Ebola disease and so the British government has gifted quite a lot of money to Sierra Leone, and in particular for building more clinics.
More clinics.
In the remote rural areas. Because we think of Sierra Leone as being quite a small country, but in truth, because it's in Africa, those small areas are very big.
Very big.
And so they need to get, the British government decided the best way it could help Sierra Leone in the event of another outbreak was to build clinics in the rural areas, and clinics require electricity.
Mm-hmm.
So why do clinics need electricity? Any answer? It's not for lighting. So why would a medical clinic need electricity? It's energy, yes, but why? What service do they need to provide at the clinic? They need refrigeration.
Refrigeration.
Because they have to keep vaccines. In the event of another Ebola outbreak, they will need to vaccinate people against the disease. So to store vaccines, you need refrigeration. So Nick is out there at the moment building clinics and equipped with solar power generators.
Very good. Very good. So you as a dad, you're very, very happy your family is successful. Now let me take you back to Saudi Arabia. Your program there ended. Your kids are turning teenagers. And you say, no, I don't want them to be without a dad around, because you used to travel back and forth. And your wife was looking after them and she's a teacher. You come back in England. You sent so many applications for a job and you couldn't get one.
Right.
What did you do there now? Unemployed? You are qualified, you've come back to England, home, you are living in the diaspora, away from home. Now you come back to England, unemployed, hundreds of applications, qualified person, you got these beautiful qualifications, you can show them certificates. No one wanted you. What did you do?
I realised very quickly that at the age of 48, I was on the scrap heap. Nobody wanted to employ a 48-year-old engineer. So the best thing I could do was become self-employed. And so I started a company at the suggestion of the British government, who were very keen to see new companies formed in Telford New Town, which is near here. And so I was encouraged to come to Telford. I was granted buildings and land so I could start my own company, which was in waste management. So I started a company with providing a skip service for construction. And it was really quite successful.
Now, tell me, because I want young people to listen, what does a skip service mean? What is it? Is it a skip? Is it painting houses? Is it getting ice cream? What is it?
No, sir. A skip is a box for rubbish.
Rubbish. In other words, collecting rubbish.
Yes.
So you saw a pile of rubbish and you saw opportunity.
Yes.
Can you?
Yes. So that was reasonably successful, but not amazingly successful. No, it was just okay. It provided a living for a small living. But I realised that this service could be widened, and so I decided to make it nationwide.
Nationwide. Okay, now tell me, this skip business, what were you doing? Were you going door to door, you knock on the door, this house? What was it, the first level?
Our market was construction companies.
Or construction companies, okay.
So through the telephone we offered a service providing skips for rubbish, for construction company waste, at building sites all over the UK.
So you go drop a skip, they fill it up,
and you take it away, you dispose of that waste, you recycle some of it, and we did that throughout the UK, but we did it with subcontractors.
Subcontractors.
So we had 550 subcontractors all over the United Kingdom, Edinburgh, Scotland, Wales, Southwest England, London, and this was, it proved to be very successful.
Yes. Now, what linked you to that type of business? Was it because you are in waste management by qualification before? Or?
Yeah. Okay. I worked in Saudi Arabia for a number of years in waste for an American company.
So there is opportunity. Your career, the one that you have a PhD on the wall, you're no longer using it. Think twice. There could be a solution that you can launch as a business. I know many of the parents in this auditorium, like many of us, you've taken a little corner to do a part-time job that's now feeding the family, and that's very rightly so. And our children are asking, Daddy, Mommy, how come your degree that you had in Africa, you're not using it? Don't hide, tell them it's because I want to put food on the table for you. In this country, you've got to do certain things in order for you to climb, and nations run differently. He was in the diaspora in Saudi Arabia. He had to come back to this country So this country for him was like almost foreign because he spent so many years outside to get started over here. He had to think. No one wants to employ him. Okay, what should I do? Should I pack it? Let's now become a self-employed person. Now from here, David, what was the next level after you provided services to the construction companies?
Well, the nationwide service
Okay.
took off in a big way. So within about 6 years, from starting from zero, within 6 years, it was turning over £5 million a year.
A big hand.
And what my concern was that it was a rubbish company. We were collecting rubbish. Who would want to be attached to it? Who would want to buy a rubbish company, you know? And a good friend said to me, David, it doesn't matter what you do really, as long as it's legal and as long as it generates a profit.
That's right.
And so what we did was generate a profit, and the usual multiplier in this country is 4 times. So in other words, if you're able to generate a profit of, say, £500,000, then the value of the company is 2 million. So
Okay.
it's a multiplier of 4.
Of 4.
Yeah, 4. But multiplying the bottom line.
That's right, yes. In other words, I walk through many shops, many people know me. I think we've got some shops around this area today. I go and knock on their door and say, look, I like your shop, but don't close. If you want to move on, sell this shop. Sell your business. I've been in this country for a long time, and I've seen lots of shops open and close. After they make their money, they buy a plot in Africa and they close and they go. No, don't close. David has mentioned something called a multiplier of 4. You can value your company and sell it off to somebody. Factor in there a caveat for them to keep the name. Do you know Marks and Spencer? These are 2 guys, Marks and Spencer. They don't own that company no more. They're not even involved. They sold it but kept the name. Wherever you go, Marks and Spencer, Marks and Spencer. So the stories of African development, you guys and me who are in the diaspora, whatever you start, do it so well. Leave a legacy. You understand that? Now, David, in terms of growth, after you begin turning that kind of money, what next? Did you still hold on to the company? What is it?
I had a clear idea that it was not going to become a family company.
Okay.
I did not want my children to inherit this company. They were not interested. They had their own careers. And so it was my job then to place the company in the market.
In the market.
For sale. And to do that, I engaged the Chamber of Commerce in Telford, and they sent a consultant to me to prepare the company for sale. And he did a fantastic job.
Fantastic.
What he did was to enter me in business competitions.
Okay.
So I told you my concern was it was a rubbish company. Who's going to buy a rubbish company?
Yes.
So what he did was enter me in, for example, in the West Midlands Business of the Year competition.
Okay.
And we won that.
Did you win it properly or it was fixed?
Oh, yeah, no.
You won it properly.
There's a lot of competition for this thing. So we won 3 business competitions.
Yes.
All the time placing the name of the company in the headlines.
That's right.
And so eventually somebody sees you and they think, oh, that's all right. I like that idea. I might as well buy it. So they came along and negotiated for many months, but eventually we achieved agreement and I sold the company.
Okay, hold that thought. Big hand, big hand. Do you see that? Now, let's plug out. I'll open the floor for questions before David leaves. I want to plug out some education nuggets. This is the platform of Amaka Wing Education, so you're being educated there for no school fees. I think we should collect some school fees, yeah? How much should this be fees? I think this is £4,000. Okay. People say, my son, my daughter, you got to be a medical doctor because I'm a medical doctor. I want to plant a nugget out of there. Sometimes it follows suit that the family trade carries on. But God is so wise that He made people differently. If your children are not interested in your job, in your career, tease out what's in them and inspire them to fly. My daughter is in construction. I never did construction. She began saying, Daddy, I want to be a teacher because the president goes to school, so teacher teaches him. Everyone in the world, I said, wow. Suddenly, when she was choosing careers to go to university, she said, Daddy, I've done wild research, powerful, I love construction. I said, wow. I didn't say, nah, become a teacher. No. He didn't pull his children into the business because if he gave it to them, they'll best it because they don't want it, they have no idea. But he promoted them to be what they are. He's a proud dad. They're doing great things. So our lesson in here, if children follow your career and they have a heart in it, develop them in it. If they say, Daddy, you know, I'm so good at this, and they just touch a button, things fly, support them. But give them basic education because reading is important. I've met millionaires and I traveled to Zambia and part of Africa with millionaires. One of the millionaires I traveled with, he didn't even understand a single business term, David. When I say a transaction, he said, what's that? I say markup. He has no idea, but he can create ideas. He gives to somebody who can run for him, it flies. You are going to school, you are studying, you want to do good in society, you can have money. But if money comes to you through your creative idea, develop it. In this country, 4 years ago, a young boy, age 14, still doing, age 12, I think, 12 or 14, still doing sixth form and so forth. He cracks a code for a program. A company gets interested. Oh, yeah, he became a millionaire. It was on television. If you remember that, the father and the mother, they put the package together and it's the hands of the company running it for him. So that can happen. Do not discourage children when they are telling you what they aspire, what they see. They must build on your shoulders. If they say, Mommy, I like your shop. I want to become like you in running a business like this. Don't tell them, no, you're in England now. No. Say, well done. Let's take it to the next level. Then bring them to Makaya Wing. We help them to go to the next level and do it properly. Mm-hmm. David, now, when you sold the business, tell me the exciting story then. When you sold the business, what happened? What offers were you given?
I was offered a sum of money to sell out, basically, and I was invited to leave, effectively, because the new person at the head of the company.
David,
yes.
you were invited to leave. You were invited to leave. How did you feel at being asked to leave your company? They said, go away, we're going to buy it. How did you feel?
It's very important, John, for people to disassociate themselves from the company. The company is a company. It's not you. You like to think it is, but the company is itself. And so it's perfectly reasonable for you to walk away if you choose to do that, provided the company is running correctly.
That's right, yes.
And then you're a free person to choose how to spend the money, how to spend your time.
That's right. So when you offered the money, how much sum of money were you offered?
£2 million.
£2 million in your account. Now, what? A big hand for that. A big hand. From collecting rubbish to £2 million in your hands within 6 years.
Yes.
6 years. Do you remember exhortation this morning? Give it time to grow. How many people have begun a company in the last 12 months? You just launched a company in the last 12 months? Raise your hand. Competent. A businessman is competent. Yes, we've got 2 hands. 1 hand there. Okay. 3 months? 3 years? Is that 3 years? Yeah, you're starting here. Yeah. You're on the road to succeed. Don't quit. Don't quit. £2 million. What did you do with the 2 million? Did you buy a Cadillac? Did you go and buy a beach in Barbados? What did you do with the money?
I did what I wanted. I aspired to do for many years, which was go to Africa. Wow. And because I discovered as a young man, a young engineer, that I had the ability to douse for water. He's water diviner.
That's right.
Okay. So dowsing is a way of finding water deep underground.
Yes.
And I believed I could do this in remote rural areas in Africa where it was very dry.
Which part of Africa did you go to?
So I went to Zambia.
Oh, Zambia, big hand. Any Zambians here?
I was invited to partner another British NGO, British charity called Harvest Help, and it was their passion to develop better farming methods.
That's right.
Through green waste composting, through seed banks.
That's right.
And they invited me to partner them in the Western Province of Zambia.
Oh, very good. Anybody from Western Province here? Big hand there. Very good. Very good.
So I stepped off the British Airways flight in Lusaka and was met by a Land Rover from this partner company, and they took me to the Western Province. And after about an hour or two, I spotted a village just inside the border of Western Province, near the Kifui River. Mm-hmm. And I decided, and I also spotted what I recognised was a rural health clinic.
Rural health clinic.
So I went to the rural health clinic and I said to the man there, "So what are your problems here?" He said, "It's quite simple, sir." And he took me to the wall in the clinic, and he had a chart showing the infant mortality rate, the deaths of children under 5.
Under 5.
So and what he showed me was that it was averaging 38%.
38%.
Meaning 4 out of 10 babies
died.
died before the age of 5. Now, as an engineer, as a stupid engineer, I knew that was horrific.
Yeah.
Because in this country, in the UK, the infant mortality rate is perhaps 0.2%.
So what did you do? Did you set up something to help that?
Well, I asked him why. Why were these children dying at this rate? And he said, "Well, it's simple, sir. It's diarrhea disease." So why do they have diarrhea? He said, "Because they don't have toilets." "They don't have toilets?" I said. He said, "Yes, sir, they don't have toilets."
So in short, because of time, what did you set up to begin helping the people?
Well, I realised that we had. I was not going to be there as a water engineer. Number one, I was going to be there as the toilet king.
So you began sorting out from rubbish to another type of rubbish.
Another type of rubbish, indeed.
And that business, how is it doing?
It's doing very well. We've now got a staff of 25 people in the Western Province and also in Lusaka.
How much are you turning around per year?
We're turning over now £600,000.
£600,000 per year.
And we've just, and it's this is a significant month because we've just finished 1,000 villages.
1,000 villages.
So, and each village has the average size of a village in the Western Province of Zambia is around 25 families, about 200 people. And so our condition is, before we dig the well, they must dig the toilets.
That's right.
So they dig pit latrines, one per family, and that's our condition of helping them. They must dig their own pit latrines. And then after they've done that, our field workers, we employ ladies, by the way. We employ usually retired teachers, retired nurses, retired local government workers, usually ladies who know the people in these villages. If you're a midwife, you've delivered the babies in those villages.
Excellent.
So they know what's needed.
Yeah. So David, you set up an education program to educate people on how to do things right.
Yep.
And that's very good. Now, in the UK, what business are you doing now that you're no longer?
My business in the UK now is housing.
Housing.
Yeah, I'm a residential landlord. I have 30 houses, and I provide housing for 3 different types of use. But the one I enjoy doing most is multi-let houses.
Multi-letting housing.
And it's for people coming into Telford. Telford is a very important centre for software development,
yes,
for computer development. And so I provide the accommodation for these professional people coming into Telford.
Fantastic. Now, can you see the evolution? I brought this interview so that you are not discouraged where you are. He has evolved from collecting rubbish, and he had to do it rightly. He found a good target market. He sold the company. You and your company are different. You must have a limited company. If you're a sole trader, still more, open a business account and your account. Pay yourself well, record the payment. If you're just taking, you're stealing from your own company. If the auditor come or your accountant telling me it's me I stole, forgive me and repent. Separate yourself. The other thing he also did, he began, after he sold his company, he began looking for new opportunities to go and help. Why his business has succeeded, he always went in the area where there was need. Yeah. You get the point? Me, I love this business, it's a hobby. It's a hobby. You'll be the only customer. When I'm painting this color. I don't paint orange. You want orange, means red, only red. Hundreds of people want orange. They are passing by, they're coming to a shop. John, do you paint orange? Yes, I paint. Do you paint blue? Yes, I paint. I'm always changing because you want area. Changing. Change your product to suit the customer. The customer is important. So now David is back here. He's doing property. Property because people need to live in somewhere. Yeah. I'd like to open up 2 questions before David leaves. A very big hand to David. Thank you very much, David, for coming. Thank you for coming. 1 question, 2 questions. Any questions from the audience? Question, Oliver.
It's a really inspiring story, David, to hear how you were unemployed and created a business, and I wish more people would look to start businesses. But what were your biggest challenges when you started?
There's always a challenge with money, isn't there? You've never got enough money when you're in business because every penny is spent before you even see it. Because you buy this, you have to invest money. And so you spend the first 2 or 3 years just investing money. In my first year, I made £3,000. That was my first year's profit. Fortunately, my wife's a teacher and she was still working. And so she supported me for the first 2 or 3 years because you can't live on £3,000 in this country. So that was the challenge, was money initially anyway. And it's still a challenge today.
Okay, another question, financial challenge, know how to manage your finance. Another question?
How did you overcome the challenge? What means did you use very hard?
I work 7 days a week basically. And I worked 7 days a week for 5 years. No holidays. Fortunately, I have good health. Unfortunately, I have a wonderful wife as well. So I was able to work endlessly, literally 7 days a week, year after year. And eventually, of course, you beat it, you get the money together. Because if you work that hard, if you work those long hours, and you're being paid, of course, by the hour by different people, then you accumulate enough money to survive.
Fantastic. So manage your finances very well, work hard. Businessmen, I normally sleep at 1 a.m. That's my routine. I don't want to exceed that. But yesterday I exceeded because the hard drive packed up. I had lots of documents to print. The hard drive couldn't work, so I began redesigning. It's hard work. The question behind?
Looking back on it, did you feel that you had to work all 7 days a week to get to the work? Or when you look back on it now, do you think that there was anything you would have done differently during that time?
I was being paid for each delivery of a skip to collect rubbish from building sites. And so I started off on my own with 1 truck and 200 skips. You know, the investment flowed from there. I had enough money to get the finance for a 2nd truck and another set of skips. Eventually I built up to 5 trucks, all based in Telford, doing work in that part of England. One thing I've always had the ability to do is spot opportunities, see opportunities, and through British Telecom introducing a service called Talking Pages. It was like Yellow Pages, but telephone, Talking Pages. BT offered me the opportunity to go into Talking Pages as the first skip operator, and not just for Telford area, but wherever I wanted. For Telford area, it was going to cost me £16 a month, but I could go nationwide for £400 a month. But you can imagine the big difference between fixed £16 a month and £400 a month. But I took the risk. I went nationwide with it. And I was initially I was the first and only skip operator. So when someone telephoned Talking Pages and said, I need a skip in Northampton, they got my name. And the irony was, how did I get a skip in Northampton? It's too far from Telford to carry a skip on a truck. I then had to build up this network of skip operators throughout the country. And as I said earlier, I developed a network of 550 subcontractors who are willing to work on my behalf, give me 30 days credit for the cost, and then of course I was able to charge the client. So that's how it built up and built up nationwide. That was the key to it. We were the first nationwide skip operators.
A very big hand. I didn't even know this. So when you see a skip, think know where it came from.
Yeah.
Last question with this one, sir.
With your experience in both England and in Africa, how much would you say the policy or the government policy and the structures have helped with how your business developed here, and how much it is in Africa in terms of challenges, in terms of structures, the national structures, the system, how much impact does that have on business?
The big difference, of course, between operating in England as opposed to Zambia is that England is full of people doing business. You have competition, whatever you do, there is competition. In Africa, it's a completely different situation, and it's a developing country, of course, and that means there's opportunities there. But we weren't on a commercial basis. We were non-profit in Africa. You must remember that. We were providing a service in Africa for poor people in rural areas that was paid for through the money that we made in the UK. And what I discovered in the UK was that I could generate funds for charity at music concerts. So, for example, we're still very big at the V concert, which is the big rock festival near Telford. And I could generate funds at that rock festival that I was able to then to take to Africa. So in 2 days at the V Festival, we can generate £15,000 through working to serve the visitors to that festival. So there are opportunities wherever you look, in different things. You know, you just need to keep your eyes open and sense what's needed. And it's the same in Africa. You can, as long as you're there, you can sense what is needed in that part of Africa, by that group of people, by that government department. In Africa is in many respects, Zambia is a brilliant country, for it's well run, relatively well run, compared with many other countries in Africa.
Big hand for that.
I've been working in Africa 15 years now, and not once have I come across corruption. Not once has a government official asked me for money to do something.
A big hand for that as well. That's good news. When you hear something positive like that, clap your hands for that. Let's thank God for that. So there's hope in Africa. There is hope in Africa.
Yes.
Stop forwarding those propaganda things which come on WhatsApp. I think this is good news to hear. So Africa is on the rise. You are the hope of Africa. Again, another hand. Thank you very much, David, for that, and we can end our interview on that good note. Thank you. It's always a pleasure, David, to come on Amakaya Wingi. Thank you very much. This is Dr. John Lukomona on Today is Your Future. Still present with you online, and we'll talk more. Sign up on Amakaya Wingi. This video clip is live on our website. Thank you very much. The MC told me we're going to have a 5 minutes break before we go to the next venture. Talk to each other as we go. Thank you very much.
Thank you, John. Very good.
In fact, before you go, take a quick protocol. Let's just gather here. Big photograph. Oh, good to see you. A big photograph together before the goes. Yes, let's have a big photocall. So, a big protocol. A big protocol here. So just all of us come on. Come around, big jump.
Hello, nice to see you again.
Yeah, very good. Come clap behind you. Behind the protocol. Come in, children. Malik, someone come in. Who's the cameraman? Which is up here. Come, Malik, here. Come. Come right in front, please. These are professors, young professors. Malik, come here. Malik, come front, please. Young professors. That was 2 days ago. Oh, that's that. What's up?
Just kneel down. Look down. That's it, that's wonderful.
Can you see my teeth? Okay, don't move, crowd. Can I just swap so that this guy can also do the photo? You done? Okay. Don't move, crowd. Then just move out. Can you come in the photo, sir, so that you can also appear CCTV story? Okay. Can you also go up? Can I have the camera? Come on. You don't want history too. Madam, in the photo, please. In the photo.
Come on in. Take the space vacated by John.
That's right. Shut it. Right in front of you.
No, I'm right.
I can see you.
You can see me.
Oh, please. Oh, these iPhones are powerful. Can you see everybody? No. Yes, sir. Young lady, come this way. Come this way. Okay, Sherry, come in front of this wonderful gentleman. Here. Right there. Yes. Right in front. Okay, come on. Kneel down there. Yeah, just this. Perfect. You are the future of this country. I want to see you. Perfect. Everybody say cheers! Say cheers!
Cheers.
The next one is this one say, all the money to John! Cheers! Princess, come on. Here. Here, come up here. Rebecca, I didn't see your face. Here. Okay, last. Okay, ready?
Ready? Cheers.
Perfect. And let me do one for myself. Okay, thank you very much. Okay. 5 minutes, just let's wait.
Yeah.
Yes,
Thank you.